Hey ladies and gentlemen, Steven here from Redolessence. Welcome back to another video. I hope you're all doing well. So the company Mont Blanc has already released a brand new fragrance this year, right? It's called Mont Blanc Explorer Ultra Blue. This one was quite unexpected for a number of different reasons. The first of which being that the original came out way back in 2003, and then there was talks of discontinuation, so on and so forth. So here we have kind of like a last minute surprise. We're in the month of November. This fragrance by Mont Blanc is called Individuel Tonic. I'm excited to give you my thoughts on this fragrance. Also let you know how I think it stacks up against the original. So make sure to stay tuned. Now, before I begin this video and my review of Individuel Tonic by Mont Blanc, and I tell you all about this fragrance, what it smells like, how different it is to the original, which I prefer, so on and so forth, I do want to mention that if you are a fan of fragrance-related content, if you like reviews, top 10s, and more, please do consider supporting this channel by subscribing to it. Make sure to enable all notifications by clicking on the bell, and give this video a thumbs up if you like this type of content. It would really mean a lot to me. So here we have a fragrance that just came out. I mean, we're in November of 2021. The original, which was created by Pierre Bourdon, came out back in 2003, so it's been well over a decade and a half since the release of the original, which by the way smells very similar to Creed's original Santal. I think original Santal came out after Individuel. And so basically that one is kind of like a cinnamon, raspberry, sandalwood kind of a fragrance, kind of on the sweet side, very playful. Also gets compared to Yop Homme. Here we have a much brighter, fresher take on the original. As a matter of fact, as of the time that I'm shooting this video, there's no note breakdown online. So I'm gonna do my best to kind of decipher what's in here, what my nose picks up on, what I think are the dominant notes since I've been wearing this fragrance now for about 3 or 4 days. So I'm excited to give you my thoughts on the smell. Let's start things off with the presentation. So right in the opening of this fragrance, the first thing that I've noticed is that this actually smells very dissimilar to the original. So the original, like I said, is this sort of raspberry, cinnamon, sandalwood, creamy, sweet, dryer sheets, laundry sheets kind of a vibe. But it also has enough of that spicy sweetness that kind of makes it smell similar to Yop Homme, which is in the, of course, magenta bottle. But this fragrance is very different. So this fragrance is actually very bright, very fresh, kind of citrusy, a little bit on the lemon side, a little aromatic as well. Could be a little rosemary in here, a little juniper, maybe some clean white floral ingredients. And so as I'm thinking about the note breakdown for this one, and of course the original also contains lavender, there might be a little bit of lavender in this one as well, but the sweetness has been dialed back considerably. And so with the original Individuel, if the sweetness was at like a level 8, in this fragrance, it's at a level 2. And so it's been dialed back considerably. So basically, this fragrance kind of reminds me of a number of other fragrances. The first fragrance that it reminds me of is Azzaro Chrome. Now, that is a classic fragrance. I think it came out in the 90s, right? Old school fragrance, Azzaro Chrome. That one also smells very clean, very soapy. It has some white floral ingredients, the jasmine, the cyclamen, the rosemary, the lemon, the musk, some woods in the base, so on and so forth. And I'm kind of surprised that they would release a fragrance that smells similar to such an old school classic, you know, because as soon as I smelled this one, I was like, it smells like chrome, right? So there are a few other fragrances that kind of fall within this category for me, actually. So Vodka on the Rocks by Kilian Paris, which I actually really like. That one is a little bit more dry, a little spicier. Also has a bit of that soapy characteristic, but it doesn't smell as clean, if you will, as Azzaro Chrome. This one also kind of reminds me of Egge by Nishane. And I also sense a bit of a similarity between Explorer Ultra Blue and this one, also by Mont Blanc. So this one, I feel like it has a touch of that sweetness that you're gonna find in the original, maybe still a little bit of that raspberry, cinnamon, sandalwood combination, but there's a very strong freshness in this fragrance. My only qualm about this one is that in terms of the freshness being used, it doesn't really smell modern or contemporary, and that's kind of paradoxical in a sense because I actually do find Azzaro Chrome, as old as it is, I still find it to smell rather contemporary because it lacks those green qualities that a lot of fragrances in that time period seem to have, the oak moss, the fir balsam, so on and so forth. But I think because of the fact that it reminds me of Azzaro Chrome so much, I can't help but feel like this is the type of fragrance that would have been around in the 90s, right? Late 80s, early 90s, so on and so forth. But I do like the way that it smells. I just don't think it's super unique. I don't think it's super original. I think it's a really nice fragrance if you're looking for something that is very safe, versatile. Swiss Army knife is probably also going to land you a few compliments, so I'm not lying about that. I think it's very easy to wear, very smooth, will probably get you noticed, will get you to, will get people to compliment you. But I think at the end of the day, if you're looking for something a little bit more on the original or unique side of the spectrum, I don't think this fragrance does anything new, and it does bear similarity to a lot of fragrances that are already on the market. And so as long as you don't mind that, you might be interested in checking out this fragrance. But I do like the original from 2003. I love Individuel. I think it's a great fragrance. I purchased it not in 2003, but I purchased it many, many years ago, maybe in like 2012 or something like that. And I really do enjoy that one. But this one is a solid release if you're looking for something clean, fresh, versatile, citrusy, lemony, aromatic, lavender, touch of sweetness, but again, like only 15 or 20% of the sweetness of the original, more of that fresh Azzaro Chrome soapiness, if you will. Let's go ahead and finish things off with my overall assessment. So first up, in terms of the uniqueness and the overall smell, I don't find this fragrance to be too unique. I think this utilizes a DNA that was very popular many years ago. I think there's enough of that aromatic lavender vibe in here that makes it very clean, youthful, contemporary, but I think the similarity or the connection that I made to Azzaro Chrome also makes me feel like this is a DNA that has been not only done, but overdone over the past couple of decades. And so it's not too novel in my eyes or in my nostrils, if you will. In terms of the longevity, you can expect about 7 hours on your skin. Projection was great for the first hour of application. It did radiate within an arm's length for the first hour, started to sit closer to the skin right around that 5-hour mark. In terms of the versatility, I think this will probably appeal to somebody who's a little bit younger, just because very clean, very soapy, very fresh. I don't think it has enough of those mature ingredients, if you will, that'll appeal to somebody who's a little bit older. This is traditionally masculine, but I personally find all fragrances to be unisex. I think this one can be worn all year round as long as you're wearing it indoors. But I think in terms of the vibe that it gives across, it's perfect for the hotter weather. And I also think that in terms of the presentation, I do kind of like the name. I like the color of the bottle. I think the color of the bottle would have conveyed the vibe of this fragrance had it been blue just as well as the green. The original with the purple vibe, the cinnamon, the raspberry, I think that's perfectly done. And I think the green looks kind of cool as well. So my final verdict on this fragrance is if you're looking for a fresh fragrance that bears a lot of similarities to Azzaro Chrome and has a touch of sweetness, so kind of like a sweeter chrome, and you don't mind a fragrance possessing a DNA that has been done a few times already, and you're not necessarily looking for the most unique or groundbreaking fragrance on the market, you're just looking for something that will get you compliments, something that's easy to wear, smells good, then I think you got yourself a winner with Individuel Tonic. For me, not my favorite release of 2021, but of course there's already been a few dozen fragrances released in 2021, which reminds me it's about time for me to compile my ultimate list of my favorite releases of 2021. I don't think there's going to be too many fragrances being released in December on the designer side of things. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this review. I hope you took something of value from this video. If you would like for me to do a more explicit comparison between this one and the original, please let me know. Leave a comment down below. If I get enough people saying that they're interested in seeing me do that, I'd be more than happy to do that, as I do own a bottle of the original and I've owned it for about 9 years now. Also, if you have tried this one, let me know what you think. Leave a comment down below. A link for this one is going to be down below as well. Not an affiliate link. I don't make any kickback. I just want you to know where I got it, and it was pretty cheap. It was in the vein of like 40 or 50 bucks. So thanks for watching. Love you all. See you next time. Bye.